Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome into another edition of the Morning Edge. DeadPresPicks joined today by Matias Weilmann. Didn't mess up the name there, Matias. I nailed it. So
Let's go.
we got the name down. It's a good start to the show. A lot to get into, guys. Obviously, my Eagles went down last night. We're going to talk through that game. Wild game. Obviously, a lot going on there. We will talk some ladder talk. My day 10 ladder, unfortunately, I went all in. You know what? I went with my birds. I said they're going to do it. It just seemed like a storybook ending. Unfortunately, they did not get it done. But I will have an announcement on how we're going to get back on the ladder and attack that. And then also, it's not too early to look at these March Madness future bets with the page turning back to basketball. That's where we're going to go. And then, of course, our final segment will be the Monday best bets. Matias, first of all, how you doing? How was the game last night for you?
It was good, man. I mean, look, I I'll say it. I'm a Philly hater.
Okay,
I
there's a
was
lot
I
of them.
was yeah, I was born in New York and I'm a Mets fan, so that's box one
I hate you
that
too,
I
man.
have to do. Yeah, look, it's nothing personal. Like I
No, exactly.
have like a legal obligation
How
to
you're
hate
raised.
Philly. You know,
Yes, it's in your blood.
don't ask me how it happens because I am spread out like throughout the whole country geographically for teams that I like.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Patriots fan, so I don't like the Eagles on that
Okay.
regard. And like, look, I have no beef with the actual city. But I have legal obligations to not like Philly. So last night was kind of fun for me, honestly. But at the end of the day, honestly, the only requirement I needed from last night was that the game be a banger. And like we got it. Like the game was good, regardless of how it ended. Kind of sucked how it had to go down. But the game itself was good. So I think I had a better time than you did yesterday, honestly.
I can promise you that. Yeah, I had a great half, and then Rihanna came out. She went in, and all hell broke loose. So yeah, tough game. Obviously, we're
Yeah.
gonna talk through it. But John Murray, the Super Book executive director, is a quote saying that the Chiefs actually saved them last night. Eagles in the over would have been pretty ugly. So the public wasn't getting everything. Obviously, the over was a public look. Eagles were public. They just got one of the two. So the books got bailed out by the Chiefs. Not a statement we could say often. Usually it's Kansas City that they need to lose. But 38-35, we're going to get into it. Guys, if you're in the live stream, we want you to comment. Let us know your thoughts on the game last night. Obviously, I have my Eagles bias on, but here's the thing with that flag at the end. Uh, I said this. I tweeted that last night. It was 100% a hold, right? Like
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think you can dispute that he held him. It was the timing of the call, and I think it was Juju earlier in the game, and I believe it was actually Brad that was
Yeah.
covering him. It was a clear, like I said when the ball's in the air, I was like, they're going to call that. They didn't call the flag. That was in like the second quarter. If you don't call
Hmm.
it there, you cannot call it at that point in the game. And it was this was from people I think that were just watching this game with no bias involved. Nobody wanted this to be a flag because if this isn't a
Yeah,
flag,
yeah.
Kansas City kicks. They probably make that field goal, right? It's a chip shot. Philly though gets
Yeah.
the ball about a minute 50 and two timeouts, and they were moving the ball, pretty easily the majority of the game. I think they minimally get in field goal range. It's tough, but I mean, as an Eagles fan, I see a lot of people upset with it. I don't think we have the right to complain because we put ourselves in that position. You know what I mean? You have a 10-point lead at half. You get
Yeah, it's
stopped.
very mature of you.
Yeah, I'm trying. But you know what I mean? That's the only way I can get there. But I mean, yeah, I obviously don't love the calls, Eagles fan, but that's a flag. You know what I mean? It's true. It's a flag.
Yeah.
At the end of the game, again, maybe the scenario, the timing wasn't great, but I mean, don't put yourself in a scenario where you're in a tie game with 4 minutes left against Patrick Mahomes. So shout out to the offense. That I was impressed. I think that was the most points
Yeah.
ever, right, in a Super Bowl loss for an offense. So yeah, Jalen Hurts balled out, man. I mean, I'm excited about the future. Just it's a tough way to go down, and obviously, shout out to the Chiefs betters and fans because it was an exciting game, right? I mean, it was a fun game
It's what we
nonetheless.
needed. Like, and I mean, honestly, like, kudos to you. I think if I was an Eagles fan and I had to host this show like 12 hours later, I would not be saying the same thing. The funny thing on that Juju hold too is when like same reaction. I saw it and I was like, all right, that's got to be a hold, and we're all like, oh, like, all right, like, okay, they'll let him play through it, sure, no problem. And then like when you see the replay, I think it was Kelsey was like they're running like a flood
Yeah,
concept, so like he was running right under, and like he was getting held too. So I
yeah,
was like, all right, you missed those two.
you got to call one of them.
Yeah, like I think that like even looking at you're looking at that last hold, like the picture doesn't do it justice because it's
Yeah.
just like kind of like that first tug that
Yeah.
like when you watch it in real time, it looks like a lot more egregious of a hold. But like, I mean, look, James Bradbury said that he held him, and
Yeah.
like Juju was like, yeah, I got held. It's just
Yeah.
I I honestly like, and I think we all kind of have the same, like everyone that isn't an Eagles fan has the same reaction that it's like, all right, it was a hold, and it sucks that it was in that spot. But again, the big thing that sucked from that is that you missed out on a potential just like banger ending, and it could have been that like first play of the game, or like first play of that next drive, like Jalen Hurts throws a pick, like it could have ended
Right.
right there. But I think that like I think we all had it in the back of our brains. Like my friend was saying this last night, like this kind of has the trajectory, not exactly of like of that crazy Rams Chiefs Monday Night Football game, or even the Bills Chiefs game where it was just like a crazy comeback, 12 seconds or whatever the hell it was. Like
Yes.
we were going towards something like that, and for it to be such a good game and end like that was kind of the shitty part. But I agree, you can't really like you didn't lose the game on that hole.
No, no, and they made some mistakes. I mean, as well as Hurts played that fumble that he had there, that kind of flipped the game. It flipped the game back, right? I mean, they had a lot of momentum. It looked like they were going to go down, minimally make it 17-7 at the time.
Yeah.
They shot themselves in the foot uncharacteristically because they didn't turn the ball over the entire postseason. Their defense didn't allow more than 7 points. I mean, they were lights out. And they played really well in the first half. They only gave up 7 in the first half, right? Because the Chiefs scored, but it was on a fumble.
I mean, look, I'll say what we're all thinking. This is what happens when you have to face a quarterback who's like not Daniel Jones in the playoffs. Like,
right. That's the thing that hurt them. It ended up biting them at the end because they didn't. Again, you can't pick your schedule. That was the point I made all season. I never argued. They didn't play. No, they played some decent teams along the way, but yeah, they had an easy path there. For sure.
I mean, both can be true. Both can be true of Philly having been the best team easily through the regular season, and then also just kind of cakewalking their way into the Super Bowl. And again, like, what are you going to do about that? You play who you have.
Sometimes it happens. Yeah, they can't control their schedule. But I agree. I think both
as a hater.
Next season,
as a hater, though, like I'll say it. You're a fraud. I have to say it as a hater.
Yeah, at the end, it ended up proving the case in a way. I think a game like if they got blown out, but I mean that game, it was a coin flip. You know what I mean? Like one break goes this way, one break goes that way. I don't know. I think that at least the game lived up to the hype of being a great game.
No, I agree.
Tough call. Yeah, tough call, tough game. They'll be back. I mean, a lot to move in the offseason, a lot of moving pieces. They have a lot of free agents. I mean, they're going to have to pay Hurts. He's going to end up getting $50 million a year, which is going to obviously. It was a year where you could have won with a cheap quarterback, which is rare in today's NFL. But that's what happens, man. When you go against Patrick Mahomes, he is the greatest quarterback that I've ever witnessed, and I've watched Tom Brady play, so that's saying a lot. But he is and I understand the ankle. Maybe it was played up a little. People on Twitter obviously saying he was playing it up, but man, he couldn't. I mean, you just can't stop the guy. What now? 5 years, 3 Super Bowls.
Dude, he didn't play it up. We saw an all-time performance by Perk Mahomes. Like, I don't know what they gave him at halftime, but my God, he was seeing the Hat Man. Like, he was seeing everything. It didn't matter. Like,
yeah, they had him ready to go for sure. Yeah, so I mean, that's a call again. The thing that sucks, just to close this before we move on to the rest of the stuff, is that this game, as great as it was, as many great plays were made, it's going to be remembered by that picture. So, that's where, you know what I mean? That's where, as a league, again, is it the right call? Technically, yes. It's the bad time. If I was a Chiefs fan, would I want to call it? Of course. Like, if this was the Eagles, if the Eagles won like this, I wouldn't give a shit. Like, I would talk just as much. It doesn't matter, right? You still win the game. And ultimately, they outplayed the Eagles significantly in the second half, and they deserve to win. So, congrats to KC. Hell of a season. It was a fun year, not only from a betting standpoint, but just the NFL. I just continues to get better. So many good teams, so many great young quarterbacks. I mean, just excited, already itching at it for September to be back. But we'll take it. They got there. The people saying I'm getting some comments about the Phillies now. First of all, I don't claim the union. If you're a soccer fan, that's cool. I'm not really a soccer guy, so the union didn't do
I don't know,
anything.
man. That was rough because the Union lost in like devastating fashion. Like
See,
they
that's the thing. I
they
don't even know how they
really
lost.
blew it.
Yeah, it was a tough
Oh,
loss, right?
you might want to
Yeah,
look it up.
so
They blew it bad. It's been a rough couple months.
that makes it worse, man. That makes it worse.
Matt,
Yeah,
what do you think of this? I think the Eagles should have thrown like a borderline Hail Mary in that last play, so at least it was a catchable ball, and they might have gotten a makeup call. Like
maybe,
they
maybe.
might have
Well,
gotten a makeup
I
call.
was surprised. I was surprised he didn't get like. I mean, you have 6 seconds. I get it. You
I
don't
thought
have
it
that
was
much
gonna
time. I'm
work out.
surprised he didn't like I don't know, run like a 10-yard out. At least get
And
yourself
they
a
had a
little closer because
timeout.
like he wasn't close.
No, it was actually the worst Hail Mary in Super Bowl history. But the thing was they had the timeout. So you like I said the same thing too. You could have run an out route, but you actually could have went across the middle, right, and just fell.
Yeah.
You know, in the NFL, like it's not
They
like
didn't have a
you.
timeout. I think they
Plays?
used the last timeout on the
But
first down play.
did they use the timeouts?
No,
Okay,
No, they used the last
I
timeout
was
on the
they.
first down play when the
I
Chiefs
was
had it
too
on the
Oh,
goal
depressed.
line.
okay.
I was too depressed at that point too.
I got confused because when they threw that when they went for the end zone, what was it? It was the hold on Juju. When they threw
Yes,
for the end zone, they still had a timeout left. That's why.
yes,
That was
correct.
why. That
Yeah,
was
yeah.
why.
Okay, that makes more sense. All right, so bottom line is they lost the game. Let's move on
Yeah.
to the recap of last night. So I gave out a couple of long shots that didn't get home. Devontae had a chance kind of around the goal line to break in. If you had Kenneth Gainwell first time touchdown, I'm sorry, that is brutal. He was down like the half-yard line, and then you knew. I mean, Philly stinks more than anyone in the NFL. That was coming. I think there was like one sack all game, and it was
Yeah.
because Jalen Hurts like stepped out, so he didn't even get sacked, but he like ran for a loss of one, so it wasn't like
Hmm.
a true sack. Shout out by the way to Kansas City's offensive line. I mean that's a hell of a job. Philadelphia was they had the third most sacks ever in NFL history. You know what I mean? Like this was like a historically good defensive line. They didn't get one sack, so big time shout out to Kansas City up front. Hell of a job
Hmm.
there. I mean, they did a great job. And then Kenneth Gainwell, the one that we did win, over 19.5 yards. He actually cleared this number pretty early on, but he just didn't get much action because the game script kind of forced Philly to throw at the end. But Gainwell did get there. Overall, kind of ended up having like a fairly even betting slate for the Super Bowl. I had so many bets that I kind of forgot. You know what I mean? Like I saw like OddsChecker recap a couple of them last night. The one that I completely forgot I had was the first touchdown scorer number under 11.5. So
That's
Gainwell,
funny.
yeah, he said Gainwell scoring, I would have lost. And then I saw the recap at the end. I was like, there we go. The Eagles lost, but that bet saved me. So yeah, that was fun. That was a cool way to win. But overall, can't complain. Like I said, it was a great season. So
You
we'll
want to
move
see a
on.
couple of brutal losses? Here you go, right here on the screen. Look at these.
Yes.
This
These
is what
are
you call
tough.
brutal.
Whose are these? Are these
These are
yours?
these are the producers Nigel's anytime touchdown parlay.
Yeah,
Thank you,
that's
Devonta Smith.
Well,
yeah, it's rough.
I will say, you. I mean, you even had a chance. Like if Gainwell scores that first touchdown, that one on the right is completely taken off. But like they teased you for a little bit, and then had you right there. If you want to see a brutal one, I had a Kelsey Hurts, Devontae Smith, and Jerick McKinnon anytime touchdown one, and I got screwed on the Smith one and the McKinnon one. I mean, the McKinnon one is like, all right, you expect them not to run it in, but it's still like,
Yeah.
you're on the one, like.
It's still tough. I mean, there's no doubt about
Yeah.
that. I think Nigel, your one on the left is brutal because Hurts scored like 3 times. Kelsey scored around the first possession, and Pacheco scored pretty easily. Devontae Smith is. I took him I didn't have a parlay, but I had him anytime touchdown. He just ran out of balance. Like, I was like, dude, like the
He
end
just
zone.
lost his balance.
Yeah, I mean, and when like I said, when I watched a replay, I understood like the body control. Like it was tough for him to get his like feet down, and obviously Devontae's. I'm saying this sitting from a chair about body.
Yeah, like I could have done it.
Yeah, Devontae Smith probably has better body control than me, but I mean, nonetheless, that was a tough beat. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry, Nigel, that was tough, but I feel your pain too. And Gainwell was just as bad, actually. I don't know what I'm saying. I think Gainwell might have been worse because I mean, it wasn't his fault, but I mean, he fell right there on the. But your
Yeah.
loss was my win because I cashed the under jersey number, so at least you can be happy for that.
Did you? Doesn't the Bolton one count? No.
No. I cashed the first touchdown score
Oh,
under.
first touchdown. I think you meant
Yeah.
total.
No, I bet that the total had to go over because like Kelsey
Yeah, I went
scored.
over the Bolton one, put it over. I think it was like 180 something.
Yeah, there were so many touchdowns too. I just feel
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot.
although
But Hurts had 3 of them with
you're
number
right,
1.
Hurts was saving. Yeah, Hurts was saving the underdog. He was doing his best.
Hey, shout out Hertz on the octopus. By the way, a lot of people
We
jumped on
hit
that.
the
I think you
octopus.
did too. Yeah, like
Yeah. I threw like $10 on the octopus, so I won like $140. I wasn't mad.
there you go.
Yeah, so you know what? I'll take it. But no, yeah, I think we talked a lot of octopus talk last week on the show, and there we go. It came home, so we cashed. But there it is, and then obviously, guys, the day 10 ladder. Here it was. So there's my ticket. All $5,000 and 26 of it just gone into the night. But you know what? It started with $10. I can't be mad. You know what I mean? I spend $10 every day on something stupid. You know what I mean? I'm probably subscribed to something right now that I don't even know I'm paying for that's $10. So I don't care that I lost this bet from the $10 standpoint. I'm heartbroken because I'm a fan of the team. You know what I mean? Like if I lost it on someone else. But here's the thing. You know what? We're gonna get back on the horse soon. We got to day 10, which is as high as we could have climbed without winning. So if it was a 9-day challenge, Matias, I would have won it.
Unfortunately, it's not a 9-day challenge, but I will say, like, again, like that was a tight game that you bet on. Like, if it wasn't the Super Bowl, if it was just an NFL Sunday, like, I don't think there's any chance you're picking that game to bet on. So honestly, just like respect for taking your team and for going for it for the Super Bowl. But it was just, it's just that the luck that you got from that Celtics Lakers game caught up to you. I think honestly,
it was due to run out. I know, and we had to. I mean, there were some people out there that said, "Listen, don't do the ladder on the Super Bowl." I get it, right?
I had to.
And Nigel knows this because I told him I was between Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown and Eagles minus 2.5. Jalen Hurts scored 3 times, so sometimes it's just picking right. You know what I mean? Like it's just getting the right one. No, I did not cash out early. I wish I did. Now I do, but here's the official.
Look, as much as you love Jalen Hurts, like, nah, you don't root for the Philadelphia Jalen Hurts. You root for the Philadelphia Eagles. Like you had to take the team. You didn't have a choice.
Yes,
you didn't have a choice.
Yes, I had to.
Respect.
Yeah, exactly. Anyone in my position, it's a fun challenge, right? I mean, at the end of the day, you can make a lot of money on it, but it's more the drama of it and how exciting it is every day. So the announcement of now I also think we have a lot more people riding. Truthfully, the issue was with this one, I kind of did it out of nowhere. So I don't think everyone was on from day one. Now we have thousands of people that are going to ride every day. What we're going to do is we're going to start this thing tomorrow. We're going to get right back on the horse. All right. So day 1 will be tomorrow. A lot went down last night, guys. So give me one day to kind of just my Eagles paint out. But yes, day 1 ladder challenge tomorrow, and I want everyone riding on it. We're gonna do a bunch of giveaways again. We're gonna give away a bunch of money. Again, if this was the day 9 challenge, I would hit it, right? So we're there. At least I know I can get through 9 days, maybe 10. But I also want to mention I might go $20 9-day challenge too. I've seen them floating around.
Okay.
Not a bad idea because what's an extra $10? Like I said, you're gonna spend it no matter what. And it's a less day, right? You know, you get one less day involved. So yeah, I think that's gonna be the move. I think we're gonna officially
I like it.
Yeah, get it going. Why not? I mean that's the way to do it in my opinion. I think if we get it rolling and kind of just get through that. It's those first 2 days, Matias. Those are the ones that get you. I'm telling you. If you can get, it's like anything else. You get through those first couple of days, hot. Then you get hot. Yeah, then you get some luck. We're gonna need a lot of luck along the way, but yeah, definitely heartbreaking. I saw some people said they kind of cashed out after 9 days, where they didn't go all in. Like that's probably smart, but I mean, at least you made some money. But for the challenge purposes,
it's not the ladder challenge then.
That's what I mean. And it's just it's like the stool challenge. Like it's not like it's like a little thing. You know what I mean? Like it's like, no, we got to go all in. We got to climb this ladder. So
step stool challenge.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, a little step stool. But officially, guys, that will be my move. I'm going to start it tomorrow, just because again, today it's Monday. It's a Monday after the Super Bowl. Everyone's tired, hungover. No one's really ready yet for the ladder challenge. Let's get back on track and we'll start it up. But yeah, shout out to everyone who's been following for it. It's been a lot of fun. We're going to win this one. Again, we didn't come here to lose. We didn't come here to get to day 9. We came here to take this thing home. So we'll get back to it tomorrow for sure. That's going to be so. That's the announcement there. Moving along though to what's our next segment, guys? Are we going best bets? Oh no, we got. Oh, here we go.
NCAA, a little March
yeah.
Madness.
Got some March Madness. Matias, I knew you were fired up for this segment, right? You've been following a lot of.
Oh, for sure. Full clarity to everyone. From like second, third week of February until end of March, I love college basketball. Before that, I don't ask me much about college basketball. I'm not gonna lie to you, full clarity. Like I used to call games for like low level D1 teams for basketball, so that was like the peak of my involvement. But again, like give me like a week and a half. Like I've been watching a little bit of college hoops, but like not much. Only advice I'll give you is that Purdue is not making it past the second round, and neither is Tennessee, and that's all I got for you.
See that there. All right, your first take is one that I'm actually kind of agreeing with you. So a lot of people love
Classic.
Purdue.
See it every year.
Yeah, I don't think they have the guard play. Now they have some good guards, but like you look at their team last year, you had Jaden Ivey as a guard, right? They had some other guys that were significantly better than Al, and they couldn't get there. I think now again, this all depends on who you get come March, right? But what I like to bet on this time of year, especially futures, are experienced teams and teams who have been good on the road. Because, as you know, March Madness, you don't play home games, right? Everything's neutral site. Obviously, if you finish, number one, if you're Arizona, for example, and they put them in the Western bracket, you get favorable locations. But once you get to a certain point, you don't get it. So I'm going to give you guys three teams that their odds, are on the screen that I think can make a run. So I'm going to skip Houston. I'm going to skip Purdue. I'm going to go look at UCLA, right, where they're at. UCLA, again, we talk about experience. They have experienced guys. You have experienced guards, especially, which I think are significant. You got Tiger Campbell. Jaime Jaquez has been great. Bailey is a freshman, but, he plays bigger than a freshman. And the other thing with them is they have shown that they can go away from home, right, and win games. And I get it. The Pac-12 is not the Big Ten or, Big 12. But they've shown the ability to win some really strong road games. They went into Oregon a couple nights ago, and they beat the brakes off of them in the second half. Experienced team again, though. You have a good coach, Mick Cronin, so they've been there. I'm also going to look at the final two guys on this list, Texas and Baylor, right? Texas, again, a lot of experience on their roster. You got Marcus Carr, Serge Rice, Timmy Allen. These are guys who've been around for a long time. And they are another team that has a winning record on the road, and they play by far the toughest conference in the country. The Big 12 right now has 10 teams who are going to get out large bids, right? So there's no night off in the Big 12. And the two bottom teams are Oklahoma and Texas Tech. Texas Tech started the year ranked. Like tonight, Texas Tech plays at home against Texas. The spread's 3.5. So the number one team in the conference versus the dead last team. That's how tight this conference is. I think Texas is more than capable of going on a run come March. It may be an issue is, their big men. I like Bishop. I think they have really talented, some young guys on their team. But, again, they're a defensive team. They have experience. They went on the road. And then last, Baylor. This is a great number on Baylor, right? Because they've done it. And they have guys from that team who were part of that championship team 2 years ago. They have a really, really strong guard play with, Flagler. And you got Keontae George, who's one of the best players in the nation. He'll be a lottery pick. They have a lot of guys on that team who are big-time shot makers, shot creators. So I like Baylor a lot. Well-coached, good defensive team. And, again, they've shown that going on the road isn't too much for them, which a lot of these teams on the list, I can't believe – Houston, I think, is extremely talented. They should not be the favorite. They don't play.
I was going to, we do the same song and dance every single year. We get to, a couple weeks before, and they're like, all right, well, Houston has all the tools for it. And then there's they just whimper out in, the Sweet 16.
Yes.
I'm gonna throw a dark horse at you though.
Let me hear it.
Team that is not on this board that should be here, Hofstra. What about the Pride, bro? They've been cooking in the Colonial, I think it is, Long Island's finest. Come on, man, that's a dream run right there. What are we talking about? Is
that your school? Do you have any bias or connections to them?
My only bias, I grew up 15 minutes away from them.
Okay,
Long Island's kind of tough sometimes for rooting for especially college football because we have nothing there. You have Wagner out in Staten Island. You have LIU who loses on average by 45 points per game. So that's tough football wise. And then most people just root for Syracuse. If if I had to pick a team that I rooted for in college basketball, it would be St. John's, just because they're like 20, 25 minutes away.
Yeah,
But I mean, they're brutal this year.
they've
Like
struggled.
they're tough to watch. But
Yeah,
I mean, Stony Brook and Hofstra are the other like local schools. But I mean, I just coincidentally moved away from Long Island the year that Hofstra starts doing well.
yeah.
But I think their mascot's the Pride.
Shout out to
I don't even know.
Yeah,
Shout out
share them
Hofstra.
some love. If they get in, hey, if they get in, watch out. But
Don't
yeah,
let
I
them get
think
hot.
that,
Don't
don't let them get hot. I will mention one other team that is plus 4,000 right now to win the national championship, and it's North Carolina. There's gonna be a lot of people out there who aren't on this bet. But here's the thing, Matias, with UNC, you gotta rewind the clock. This team was just through the entire bracket right a year ago. And the thing with North Carolina that, again, I talk about this all the time, experience, and they have more of it than pretty much anyone that'll get in this field. The issue, though, is betting it right now, North Carolina's not even a lock to get in, right, into the tournament at large.
They weren't last year either.
That's what I mean. Last year was a similar result, right? They kind of scuffled into the tournament a little bit, and then they got hot. And they have the guys. They have the two guards, right, in R.J. Davis and Caleb Love. You got Baycott, who is one of the best big men in the nation. Their issue is they're not that deep, right? They don't have a great bench, but I'm telling you, man, if they get hot at the end of the year, and they have a favorable schedule here coming down the home stretch. They play Miami tonight at home. That's a huge game. But they're 5.5-point favorites. I think they win that game somewhat easily tonight at home. So I would definitely say keep an eye on North Carolina. They have one really tough game to go. They play at North Carolina State, and then they play Duke at home. But they have some easy road games. I know they play Notre Dame on the road. I think they play Florida State at home. So, like, they get easier games coming down the stretch. They're going to get into the tournament, I think. And if they get in, they just went through it. So, I mean, they have experience at every level. I mean, you want experience just in the tournament. Well, they have experience round of 64, 32, Sweet 16, Elite 8, Final Four, all the way down to the championship. They should have won that game. I think it was like the largest comeback, last year, or at least. So, yeah, keep an eye on North Carolina, man. I think throw it in, because if they get in, if they're firm in, that number is going to drop, right? I mean, you're going to see that number fall pretty significantly. So I think there's value. Someone asked about Oregon. I don't know if Oregon's getting in right now. I think that they're an interesting team. The issue with Oregon is offensively, they can just go through some crazy droughts. Like, they don't have – you have Will Richardson, who, he didn't shoot the ball well against UCLA, but I don't know if they have enough shot creators, right? Like, when you're in a drought, if they're not running their stuff. I like a couple other bigs. Oregon's an interesting team. The Pac-12, though, man, just so weak this year. Like, it's tough to evaluate. IUPI, yeah, they might go on and on. That's a good team. Someone said Maryland. The issue with Maryland is they're like, if Maryland played at home.
The issue with Maryland is they're Maryland. Like,
well, that's it. But if they played at home for March Madness, I bet they would win it. Like, they don't lose at home, and then they go on the road and they would probably lose to IUPUI or whoever else we're mentioning. So they've been a really disappointing team. All right, we're getting some comments now just about teams, so we'll try to answer your guys' questions. Indiana, again, they could go on a run, but the issue again for me with Indiana was how they played away from home. But that win over Michigan was big time. I think when they're fully healthy, they're a team. Yeah, I mean, Trace Jackson Davis, obviously. I really like Hood Schifino, the young guard. He's a guy that can kind of take over a game late, and he plays fearless, at least at the moment. So, yeah, I think Indiana is good value, honestly. I think that they could get it done. USC, no, I don't. The only Pac-12 team that I really like is UCLA. Yeah, no, just no. The Pac-12 is it's not like you play USC in the Big 12 this year. I bet they're like Texas Tech. I bet they're at the bottom. You know what I mean? I think that they're. I like look at the Pac-12. It's very top heavy because you have Arizona and UCLA who are legitimate like title contenders, and then I mean there is a massive fall off. Like, it is a huge drop off to the next best team. So there's like two teams. The Pac-12 might only have 4 tournament teams, like at large, maybe 3 or 4. I know Bill Walton would be upset about that, but he was saying how. I think he had like all 12 in, or however many teams there are.
Yeah, he always does that. Like,
he's like put Colorado in, or he threw someone crazy in there. He's fun to listen to, especially late night. I think Illinois also holds good value. That's another team keep an eye on. I mean, Illinois coming into the year was slated to be one of the best teams in the conference. So They have again experienced guards. Virginia, yeah, great point. Issue for Virginia can be offensively. They get a little, you have one off night in March Madness. But if Virginia plays at their pace, I mean, you have a coach who's won a national championship. You have a guard who's won a national championship. So they have some good pieces there for sure. So definitely keep an eye out for the Hoos. But on this list, I'm going. I think you got to lock in some action on Texas and Baylor at that number. Like I said, North Carolina. And Matias wants you to get Hofstra in there. If you can find it, get him in. Yes, Hofstra's taking it home. I don't know how you're going to find a futures bet on Hofstra, but look hard. I mean, look through.
I'll let you know if I find it.
Yeah, we'll keep you guys updated. So there's some March Madness talk, guys. We're going to continue. Obviously, the page is turned. Right, football season sucks to say, guys, but it's over. It's time to focus. The next 6 weeks are the best 6 weeks of the college basketball season.
Yeah,
undoubtedly. You know what I mean? These are all big games, and then you get conference tournaments, which are always fun, and then you get the big dance. So do not miss it.
It's so funny too, because you get NBA too, and it really kicks up, and you still have hockey, and you think about like this being the best time to bet and like the most fun time of the year, and you're like, all right, well, football is the most fun sport to bet usually, and we just so happen to not have any football at the most fun time.
That's how it works.
I just always thought it funny how that works. Like I just betting on hoops and just like the craziness of March Madness. Like it's just I don't nothing touches that. And that's coming from someone who again like till this point is not even the biggest March Madness fan.
Yeah,
or the biggest college fan.
Yeah, it makes sense. I agree. I think this is even if you're not a huge college basketball guy,
give me a week and I'm in. Like
you quickly do your homework. It's like doing last second homework. Gonzaga, I just don't like Gonzaga this year. And they do have good value, though. Whoever said that. And obviously, Kansas is good value. So keep an eye out for that. You guys got to get some future bets in there, man. I mean, you have to have a couple tickets because you want to be pulling for teams once the big dance does hit. And obviously, you're getting great value on the majority of these teams at this point. So there's our college basketball segment. As I said, the next 6 weeks, we're going to have a ton of college basketball content. We've had it all year, but it's going to get ramped up a little bit now that football is done. So now is the time in our show, Matias, where we make our best bet of the night. Obviously, we got NBA, we got college hoops, we got a little bit of everything going on tonight. You're going to kick us off with what you're looking at. What do you got?
All right, so I'm giving you the number one rule that you need when you bet on the NBA for the rest of the season.
Okay.
Whoever is playing the Spurs, take their big man for whatever the hell number it is. I don't care what the number is, you take it. So I'm taking Jared Allen over 28.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Best number you can get that at is minus 115 on DraftKings. Look, the Spurs traded away Jakob Poeltl. He was the only semblance of defense they had on that team, especially in the interior, on the outside, wherever. No Charles Bassey tonight. Sohan's still day-to-day. Kem Birch isn't going to make his Spurs debut till after the deadline. That's who they traded for when they traded away Poeltl. This defense was awful when they had Poeltl. It is like impressively bad now. They went to double OT against the Pistons, which is all you need to know, which was brutal because I took the Spurs +6. They went to double OT and the Pistons still covered. So that's rough. Not bitter about that. But going back to Jared Allen, so again, Spurs and Cavs tonight. My only real worry is that the Cavs are just going to blow them out and the game's going to be over by like the second quarter. Mm-hmm. But both teams are rested. Neither team played yesterday. Jared Allen's hit this 6 games in a row. If you feel a little more comfortable with just taking the straight double-double, you can get that at minus 165. So you do lose quite a bit of value there. The only other option here, like you can kind of argue that, Mobley kind of takes away from that potential as well. But Mobley's PRA is at 30.5. So if you can get Jared Allen, who's been hitting this number more consistently than Mobley has, he's hit it in 3 of his last 6, almost 4 of his last 6. I think he had 30 one of those times that he technically missed. But I mean, if you can get Allen 2 less and he's hit it 6 straight times, like I don't see why you don't take that. Duran and Stewart both hit it for the Pistons the other night. Capella had 27 PRAs, so he was right there too, and they ended up blowing them out. So again, my only concern is that the Cavs just like absolutely boat race them. The spread is 13.5, in a basketball game. So
Yeah.
it's tough. It could definitely happen, and it could happen early. But regardless, I'm taking Jared Allen. I'm taking the Fro over 28.5 PRAs against my Spurs.
Got some great hair. Yeah, I'm with that. I mean, that is a team who you kind of mentioned. The only thing I worry about in this game is exactly what you said, the blowout factor. But you can't, you know what? You can't live your life like that. You gotta go for it and just hope they don't blow them out. But blowouts definitely are the biggest kryptonite when it comes to it. But I'll be riding that, man. I mean, the Spurs, they can't stop anything. So
I mean, look, like you just give me like Jared Allen and Evan Mobley against Isaiah Roby and Zach Collins. Like I'm good. Like I'm in. Just say less. Take my money.
Yeah. Yes, I'm with you there. Definitely will be telling that. All right. So Jared Allen over 28.5. Yes, someone said Cavs money line. That's gonna win. I think. I'm gonna make that a max play. Yeah. So on the Cavs. All right, guys. Here's my NBA best bet of the night. We're gonna head out to Portland, looking at the Lakers and Blazers. I'm gonna take the Lakers on the money line. So here's the thing. Right now, this was on FanDuel at plus 105. I just looked right now on DraftKings. It's at minus 105. This is gonna move quick, and I think here's why. The Lakers have this thing, Matias, where they wait until the last second to let you know if LeBron James or Anthony Davis are playing. If they're going to play, if it sounds like they're going to play, the line's going to move. The Lakers are going to close as favorites if they come into this game fully healthy. The issue is if the opposite happens and one of the two wants to sit, for no reason, and do that, then we get in trouble. But I believe LeBron James sat out, what was it, last game or 2 games ago? So I don't think he's going to sit out again. I think he'll play this game tonight. They looked pretty good, honestly, with D'Angelo Russell as an addition to this team. I liked a lot what they did at the deadline. I thought adding like a guy like Malik Beasley, he could shoot the lights out of the basketball. You put him with a guy like LeBron who's going to find him a bunch of open looks. He's going to be in a good position. I like the addition of D'Lo, and I like the subtractions of Pat Bev and Russell Westbrook. The Lakers have a legitimate chance to make some noise in the West. I know that sounds crazy to say, but they have not been healthy a lot this season. Anthony Davis is having somewhat of a career year, right? When he's been on the floor, I mean, he's looked like that.
He's been great.
Yeah, he's been filling it up, defending as per usual, great defense like he always does. This is a Lakers team that they need to win these games, right? I mean, there's urgency on a February night, a Monday night in February. That's not a lot. You can't say that about a lot of teams in the NBA right now. And I think they're going to play with a chip on their shoulder the rest of the way. So, yeah, I like the Lakers to make a mini run here, honestly. I know it's fun to hate on the Lakers, and there's a lot of LeBron haters out there.
Yes.
So, someone said, so LeBron, he's missed the last 2, actually. All right, so, he's got to be back, right? I think
I will say.
Yeah,
let me play a little devil's advocate here. Let me put a tinfoil conspiracy hat here.
Okay.
So like there's people have talked about just kind of like a LeBron Rihanna thing for a while. Obviously Rihanna has a baby with ASAP Rocky. They are together. She's expecting another too, which was a surprise to everyone yesterday.
Yes,
but LeBron last night tweeted. He said Rihanna has like hit after hit after hit, and like it has been like a known thing that they're like close. So what about the theory that Savannah got mad at LeBron, made him sleep on the couch, and now he's not well rested, and the Lakers end up losing tonight? You got to consider that too.
It's a fair point, right? I mean, it's a fair point. It's not something that I took into consideration capping this game, but hey, you never know. You know what I mean? I mean, listen, I was in the doghouse last night when the Eagles lost, so I mean, I had to sleep on the couch too. I'm not well rested, but I still feel like I'm going to deliver today. But no, I think it is. That is an interesting point, but it's a good spot. I pray LeBron plays. Missing 2 games in a row, I think he'll come back. He was at the Super Bowl last night. He looked good. He's ready to go. He's feeling good. I do think both of them play tonight. And like I said, if they do play, I expect this line to flip to, Lakers minus 120. So I think getting this number where you're getting it. One last point that I will mention, Los Angeles hasn't been bad on the road. They've actually played pretty similarly on the road and at home. So there hasn't been a big difference in their performance away from home or on the road. And Portland's somewhat similar. Like they haven't been a very good home team or a bad road team. So I don't think the location of this game, not that, the NBA is nothing like college, right? Like where home court plays a massive role, but there's something to consider as well that they should be good. But yeah, I mean, look, this is a Lakers team that, like I said, keep an eye on them, man. I think they could make some noise. The West is wide open. I know, obviously now Durant going to the Suns, that opens things up in the West, or closes things up a bit. But you know what happens once the playoffs come. It's still LeBron James, and like I said, AD's having somewhat of a career year. I think it's going to be interesting. I'm excited. NBA playoffs coming up. We're getting towards that side of the year. There's a lot of good going on right now.
Yeah, I think. I mean, look, if you haven't heard about him, like someone like Jared Vanderbilt is going to be already has shown to be a good fit with the Lakers. Like if you didn't watch too much T-Wolves basketball, like that, someone to watch. Like that again,
Yes.
the Lakers got significantly better at the deadline. Whether it's going to matter or not is another story. But I agree. Like this is a team to keep an eye on. It's LeBron down the stretch. Like they're going to make the playoffs, and once they get in, like it's kind of like March Madness in that sense. Like all bets are off. Like anything could happen with him.
Right. Anything can happen. So keep an eye out on that. But Lakers money line, watch that line too. I mean, if it's at -105 or plus 100, wherever you have to get it, I mean, I would take it, especially if you want to wait and make sure they're in, which I understand you can. You're just going to get a worse number, in my opinion. But those guys are our bets today. One more time just to reiterate, there was someone asking about the ladder. I know some people hop in and out. The ladder pick will be tomorrow, so this is not a ladder pick. The Lakers money line at +105. Obviously, we still want it to win, but the official ladder picks will be tomorrow, and they're going to drop the same way. They're going to drop the same way that they always do. So we're going to cut up the videos and drop them here on the Morning Edge and piece that together. But that is where you will find the ladder picks again. It will start tomorrow, not today. Even though we have a plus money winner, we're still going to officially get it rolling tomorrow. So that's the update there. Matias has Jared Allen over 28.5 points, rebounds, assists. Again, he plays for the Cavs. I saw someone ask who he played for. He is on the Cleveland Cavaliers. So to look for that prop, I got the Lakers money line. I got the Lakers money line at +105. That's going to be it for us today. One last thing I want to mention. I know there's not a graphic for it, but the YouTube channel, if you join, are we still doing 500 for it, Nigel? Or are we still giving away money? I know, right? Every month?
500.
All right. So I can't, Nigel, I'm sorry.
From the top rope, man.
Yeah, I doubt it. I doubted him. He just dunked on me. But $500 giveaway. When you said from the top rope, real quick before I talk about this giveaway, there was a bet yesterday that Tom Cruise was going to come from the top rope and drop the football to start the game, and yes was only plus 5,000. I was like, is there some? So I was looking for him, but Tom Cruise did not come up. But yeah, that was a real bet. So if you guys saw that or didn't see it, it's just something funny. You can bet on anything. But the $500 giveaway, it is all through February. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, so. Shout out to everyone for that. But so for Valentine's Day for February, we are giving away $500, and it takes 2 seconds to enter, guys. Subscribe to the OddsChecker US YouTube channel, and then you can comment on this video or any of the videos that you are in. But make sure, please, to subscribe at OddsChecker US. You can watch all of these back on YouTube as well as Twitter, and that'll be it. But yeah, get in. February's a short month, Matias, so it sneaks up on you sometimes. Sometimes you can miss it. Matias, did you play basketball in college? Someone asked.
I did not play basketball. So my athletic journey was short-lived, very short-lived. I played pickup basketball in college, if that counts for anything. I tried to play in high school, and that did not work out well. I am your classic like 6'3", can either dominate really bad pickup players or can just brick 6 layups in a pickup game. It's all about knowing your role. It's all about playing defense, grabbing rebounds, and blocking shots, baby. That's all it's all about.
Play within yourself. How tall are you officially? What are you listed at?
I'm officially am I NBA height or
we'll take the NBA height. So give yourself an inch or two. What would you be if you were in the NBA? What would you be at?
NBA height is 6'3" 3/4. So okay. I'll add a little bit there.
All right, I'm a strong 5'11" in the NBA. So you got me beat there on the height. But yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. Again, Matias, thank you so much for hopping on. We had a pivot last minute there, but you killed it. We're gonna be excited to keep an eye on his bet tonight. Jared Allen over there at 28.5. Guys, I'll be back tomorrow with another episode of The Morning Edge. Make sure to subscribe. Continue to follow us at OddsChecker US. We hope you all have a fantastic Monday night, and let's cash in some tickets.